Hey guys, it's Stacy and Hutch, and apparently our bosses thought that we didn't talk enough.
So we're going to do a podcast.
We're going to say too much. Hopefully we don't get fired, but it's a podcast, so they can't fire us for having our own thoughts.
And we don't get paid for this, so how can you fire from something that you don't actually do for a job?
You're not getting paid?
No, are you?
Let's start the podcast. Yay!
Yay! Here we
Podcast
are.
number 2. Excited today. We got a lot to do, a lot to talk about. Some good snack chat, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm surprising you with some stuff.
Good.
Pass or play, of course, everything brought to you by Mattress Galaxy. Coming up, by the way, on Snack Chat. Let me see. I'll show you.
Okay.
Do you know Doritos has a new chip flavor?
No. What is it?
Barbecue.
Oh,
Interesting.
I had no clue they had barbecue. Oh, sorry, Ross.
that's okay.
Okay, there you go.
I'll just stay quiet.
All right. And then
Those will be fantastic, by the way.
I
Anything barbecue.
I did bring Stacy the new Starry.
Oh,
Have you
Good.
tried it already?
I have, and I'm very hungry and thirsty,
Thirsty?
so I'm very excited about
Okay.
it.
Then for Snack Chat for dessert, here, you can grab those. Stacy's favorite. Bugles.
Yay!
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh,
Put them on your fingers.
I haven't had
dirty
those.
to me. These are going to be fantastic.
I did buy you guys some Valentine's Day treats. Ross, here's yours for your future endeavors.
What is it?
Swipe right.
Oh, let's
Don't
show it.
that off, yeah.
And then hand this to Stacy. This is hers. I bought her.
Not even going to read what yours says.
Yeah.
Says, I tolerate you.
No.
There you go.
Ain't
That's
that
so
the
nice.
truth?
All right. Let's bring in our podcast friend today. Danny is with us. It's funny, I've talked to Stacy about this all the time, Danny, about how Ross, save the snacks. About
Those
how
are going to be great. I can't wait.
I've talked to Stacy about how I've tried to get influencers on the show and
Yeah.
no one will come. You're the only one brave enough to be here and to
Maybe because you're everyone fears us.
I don't know why it is, but
I mean, I was excited. I thought, it's a cool opportunity. I've never done this before, so you're gonna have to bear
Really?
with me. Really, never.
okay. Well, first off, you got an interesting story. And you're on Instagram, by the way, as the artificial blonde, but you're not blonde.
Yeah, not blonde at all.
I
I
s-
know, and that's caused so much controversy. But I was platinum blonde for 10 years. I had to give my hair a break. My hairdresser was like, "We gotta give it a break," and I was like, "Well, shoot, I trademarked the name. It's an LLC. I can't go back on it now." So,
Well, you
Has
can
to
do whatever you
stay.
want.
There you go. Just put a blonde wig on. I'm sure it'll look the same.
oh, totally.
But your story is kind of interesting from where you started to where you're at now. Stacy and I we get bombarded by our social team, our promotions team, and our boss.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to post, you got to do this. You
I
got
was
to,
like,
I mean, Stacy has almost 5,000 followers and I've got 3 something.
I don't know. Do I have that many?
Danny has 75,000.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But that took a long time to build up to that point.
So it wasn't like one post or was it?
Not really. It started in 2019. I was a stay-at-home mom with Emberly. And I was like, I have to be doing something. And I kept seeing these mom bloggers on Instagram. I was like, well, this is kind of fun. They're literally just taking pictures.
Get
of,
closer to the
their
mic for me.
outfits,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And posting their iced coffee, their Target trips, the most basic things. But they were loving it. So I started, I made a website. And I kind of just went into it blind, and I went on Instagram and I just started posting more frequently and connecting with other moms, local moms. And I it's like a community in a sense. And I've made so many great connections on Instagram. So that's been really cool. But yeah, I started with maybe 500 followers
Well,
and it's just grown throughout the years.
help us out because we have so many meetings. They're like, you don't have enough. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking my top off. No.
Not on camera.
No.
Yeah. But you will show your earlobes on OnlyFans.
Yes, I will.
Yes. How much will you charge for your earlobes on OnlyFans?
I
How
don't-
much will people pay?
right.
Yeah.
They don't match,
We've seen them. They
Creepy.
they don't match.
It's creepy.
But your story's pretty interesting. We were talking the other night, and there's a lot, especially on your TikTok, and you're not as active on TikTok as you are Instagram, but your life kind of started with some health issues and started with really body image issues from what, first grade?
A young age. Yeah, first grade.
That's
I
sad.
remember we were we had like a health coach come in. It was like fitness week or whatever, and we all had to like step on the scale. And I remember even just being in first grade, like stepping on that scale and just like being mortified and just feeling so down about myself. And my mom and my grandma struggled a lot though too. So like watching them from a young age struggle with body issues, it reflected back onto me. And, I've dealt with it ever since. I'm in a healthy place though now, which is, good, but it's taken a lot of work and, I did treatment in the past for it and I'm open about it. I talk about it because I think it's important to, share my story to hopefully help others that might be going through the same
Anorexia,
thing.
bulimia.
Um, a little bit of anorexia, bulimia, a little bit.
Mhm.
Like I would go in spurts. Like I'd have a couple like good years and then like I
Fall back.
had some really bad ones. COVID was one of those bad ones, like 2020, like when the world changed, and I was at home all the time. It definitely affected my mental and physical health. Um, and that was probably my lowest point. I got down to like 110, 115 pounds. I'm 5'8". So that's not
That's
a
very
healthy
thin.
weight
I
to
don't
be.
understand why. I remember in grade school doing the whole thing, the weighing thing too. And I
Mhm.
remember being mortified. But I
Yep,
was also at my highest height. I mean, where I am now. And I remember weighing 115 or something like that.
yep.
And then because the teacher would say it to the helper in the class across the room. And then there was
Mhm.
like a hush around the room because everyone was like, oh, that's really a high number. But I was 5'6" then. And everyone else in my class was like 4'10" or whatever. So they were like 90 pounds.
Mhm.
So it to them and to me, it seemed like a lot. And that really messed me up in the head.
Yep,
Really did. And I don't know
hard.
why they did that. And it affected me for years and years. And I don't if teachers and educators, if you're listening and you're still doing that, stop it.
I never experienced the whole weigh-in thing. I never saw that
Well,
or
I'm older
experienced
than you, so maybe they finally figured it out by now.
it.
But that was really stupid. I don't know why they are doing that.
Did you suffer
Oh
from?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yes. For years. For
really.
years. Finally, when I was 30, I said, I gotta do something about this.
What would you do? What would you?
Exercise my brains out, restrict, restrict, restrict.
Yeah,
And it got worse.
mhm,
Bulimia for a long time too.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was not good. I mean, my teeth have suffered the worst.
Mhm.
I have very little enamel in a lot of my teeth because of it.
It's crazy that what you're doing now, Danny, on Instagram is super educating. I don't want to say super educating. That's such a bad way. You're educating people, especially on TikTok, about the struggles that you've been and where you're at now and how healthy you are now. But a lot of it is we've talked about and we've said is it's pictures. So people just want to look at something nice. They
Hmm.
want to
Yep.
look at, how does that affect you though? And like when you work out or when you don't want to eat, do you let those comments or those pictures knowing, okay, I've got to post a picture that's going to get me something or post something that's going to get more likes? Does that affect you when you post or?
When I first started out, it definitely did. Like, there was a lot of pressure, but honestly, like, throughout the years, I don't wanna say I've stopped caring, but I don't care as much anymore because I'm like, "This is how I am." Like, I'm not gonna just post a certain way for social media to be happy.
Hmm.
Um, and, like, it's not healthy if you're just trying to look a certain way for the internet, because at the end of the day, like, even if we all ate the same things and exercised the same amount, we're still not gonna look the same as each other.
Right.
And I think that's so important to, like, remember because I think a lot of young girls go on Instagram and they see these models and these influencers and they think, "Well, I need to look like that," or "I don't look like that." It's like, you don't know their backstory,
Mhm.
and, like, your body is your own, and I try to teach Emberly, like, we gotta embrace our bodies for how they
Hmm.
are,
Yeah.
So
I like to think about, I remember there was an ad, I think, for Nike or something, or there was a Sports Illustrated article, and they had all of these different female athletes, and they all weighed the same and were the same size, like dress size, whatever. And they lined them all up, and they all had completely different shaped bodies. And then they showed what their athletic um, prowess was. One was a runner, one was a shot putter, and they all had just completely different bodies, and they all looked great.
Mhm.
And it was so cool because I'm like, of course she's a runner. She's got awesome thighs. This person's a shot putter, so she's like really, thick around the middle because she uses those muscles so much. Tennis player. Arms were like powerhouses. And I was like, of course, because this is just the way your body is engineered and the way you've engineered your body.
Mhm.
And it just made me think, it's about strength. It's about power for these women.
Yeah.
And I thought, it just turned my whole brain into a different way of looking at things. And at the time I was really into running. So I'm like, okay, I get this now.
Yeah.
It makes so much more sense to me now. So I
Well-
started focusing on power and strength, and it made me feel so much better.
Ross?
Danny, for you and growing an audience like you have, how much of that is quote unquote trying to game the system and see what other people are doing, but also for you just being authentic and sharing a real story?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a balance. I use like the ad tools a lot personally. Instagram is like always changing. And that's one thing that I learned that has been like really useful is like doing ads and like connecting with like other like moms and bloggers that are my age, and we kind of support and boost each other. Um, but, like, at the same time too, like, a lot of these people are just posting because 'cause they're getting paid to do it, and I wanna try to stay as authentic as possible. So, if I post, like, a product or something, like, it's something that I actually, like, use and love,
Sure.
and, I hate the word influencer, honestly, I don't like it because I don't consider myself one. I just post, like, everyday life and try to keep it as authentic as possible because there's a lot of non-authentic things out there.
Mhm.
So you kind of became an influencer by accident. You're just doing
Pretty
this.
much. I didn't go into this thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna
I'm gonna
be
get
big,"
paid.
and I don't consider myself big at all.
Do you get
Um,
paid though? Like, do you get
Um,
paid by
from
Instagram or TikTok, or do you get paid by companies that want to
a
have you
little
endorse a
a
product?
little bit of both. Usually it's more so like the company, Instagram and TikTok will like give you a little bit, but it depends on like how well your reels are doing. We're like a brand, you get like a set amount.
Mhm.
It's like kind of like a contract.
Yeah.
Where
Mhm.
they say, like we'll pay you X amount for this amount of posts and like a video
Yeah.
or whatever it may
Hmm.
be. But the other thing though too is, I'm not in it for the money.
Yeah.
Like,
The one thing I do want to mention, and going back to the body image stuff real quick, that you and I have talked about, and I'm going to start doing this with my daughter. With your daughter, you do daily affirmations,
yeah.
and I think TJ does this too. But it's something that we should be taught at a young age, just to say, "Hey, I'm worthy. I'm good." Like, because no offense to Lois, but Lois didn't sit you down and say, "Hey, Stacy, you're beautiful
Right.
the way you are. You're gorgeous. You're smart. You're funny."
And
a
nobody
lot
did
of
that to her either.
and no,
Yeah.
but that was the time period up
Sure.
until maybe, I don't know, mental health, when it became a huge thing in 2020.
Hmm.
So, so you do that with E a lot.
Yep.
What does that
So-
look like?
Yeah, so honestly, it's just become like a part of like our morning and night routine. So like every morning on the way to daycare or when she's home, she knows them and she has three. It's I am smart, I am beautiful, I am kind. They're easy to remember and they're simple. And we do them before bed too. But it's just a way to like boost self-esteem from a young age. And when you say things out loud repetitively like that, it really does build up in your brain where you think it. And I think it's so important to just start doing those things at a young age
Mhm.
and kind of, avoid negative thoughts. Cause I wish when I was that age that my mom would have taken the time to start doing simple things like that with me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think it really would have helped.
Stacy, you're
Mhm.
kind, beautiful, and smart.
Hey, thanks,
You're
my
welcome.
friend.
All right, let's get to the awkward moments,
Okay, awkward.
because
This is what we know best.
I told Danny, I said, "Hey, can you get me 3 of the worst pickup lines you ever got?" Because listen, you get them. I don't get them as much as women do, but you get creepy comments from guys.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, yeah, I keep
a
getting-
couple times a day, probably for you.
Well, I've recently I got offered to be someone's sugar baby.
Oh,
I don't know what that
now
means.
listen, I would take that up.
Well,
Can
I
you
don't,
give me their contact info?
sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Does that mean I get candy?
It-
I love candy.
You can buy whatever you want. But women especially, have seen, whether you're an influencer or not, or you've had comments where men are like, "Hey, what's going on?" In fact, last night, when we went out to dinner, we were sitting at the restaurant, Danny and I, and she goes, "You're not going to believe what I just got."
Oh,
And I go, "Okay." She goes, "I'll text it to you."
oh
And so
God.
she texted to me, and I don't want to read it. But basically it was like, "Are you at blank and blank restaurant in city right now?"
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were sitting there and I like felt eyes on me and I like didn't want to like look up and I kind of got quiet, which I don't know if you picked up on, but then I like looked down at my phone and I saw that message and I was like, "Ugh, like
Yeah.
crap."
Well, and then I said, "Hey, do you want to leave?" Because like I can't
Well,
imagine.
luckily you were sitting there too.
Right. I was sitting there. But I said to Danny, I said, "Hey, I would have felt better if the guy actually just came up and said, 'Hey, I'm a fan,
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to say hi, blah, 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 blah.'" But it was a text
Did
from
Did they come up
no,
to you?
we
Good.
left.
No.
Yeah, we had left, and it was one of those things where it was just like, it was just kind of uncomfortable. But you get tons of messages, I bet.
Mhm.
How do you deal with the creepiness or even messages from other moms that are like rude? And, how do you deal with that? Because Stacey and I still try to deal with that to this day. We call people out.
Yeah.
But do you block? Do you respond? What do you do?
So honestly, I usually don't respond because these people are looking for a reaction. And if you
Mhm.
give them that reaction, you're fueling them to keep doing it
Right.
because they're going off the reaction you give, honestly.
Right.
Um, and I try to just not take things so personal. Like I used to get so offended and just so upset by these things. But then I realized, like, these people have their own struggles in life. They're dealing with their own demons. And I view it as like deflecting. They're trying to deflect from their own, issues
Mhm.
and bring down somebody else. And I'm not going to feed into it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I blocked before. I don't, unless it's like really bad, I don't block them. I just don't read it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And using the filters, we have them. I don't use them. You can use filters on Instagram too to block out certain words.
Yeah, and I do use that
Okay.
for, like, my comment section and my messages, just because the messages I would get, you wouldn't believe
Or just
some of them.
insane.
Just insane.
Yeah.
And, I just choose to use those filters
Well, and
now.
I said to her, I said, "Give us 3 most horrible pickup lines." That she goes, like, they're not even like podcast friendly. They're not world friendly. Like, there's not one pickup line she can really say that
Wow.
men have sent her that she could
Yeah.
we can make fun of because they're so bad.
And I'm just like, what? Do you really expect someone to
Yeah.
respond to that?
right.
I was
Like-
literally just going to say, why do we think that that is? And why does that typically happen to somebody in your situation? Like, Hutch, why do guys think that it's just appropriate that we could do that?
I don't know.
Are we hoping that like 1 out of every 100 that we send that to is
You're
like,
like,
sure, why
"Hey."
not? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm
And I
gorgeous and
apologize
single.
on behalf of our
It's
kind.
all good.
Well,
It's all good.
she's so sick of me apologizing. Like, the things she tells me, I'm like, "I'm really sorry that you're." She goes, "Why are you sorry? You didn't do any." But it's like I feel like growing up with. I'm so glad I grew up with women. Like I really am. It has
Yeah,
its
me
perks
too.
and it has its disadvantages,
Yes,
though.
you learned a lot.
But I was also in show choir, not football. But but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't know. And these are men from the age of the youngest that you get messaged to flipping 60 or 70-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, all over the board.
She, by the way, did you know this? Random men will just Venmo her money.
Oh, I wish that would happen to me.
She
I
got,
will
like,
be your sugar
she got
baby.
a couple
Don't talk to you.
$100 once. I'm like, "You send it back?" She goes, "No, if they're stupid enough,
Yeah.
send
I
me
mean,
money."
I will
Like,
give them I should be listing my Venmo.
I'm like, "Do you thank them or anything?" She goes, "No, I don't need to talk to them." So it's like,
Okay, so every time I get someone offering to be my sugar daddy, I'll just send my Venmo,
correct,
and then just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right.
it's got to be hard though to have the perception of, I know you don't like the word and you're going to yell, but the perception of an influencer, someone who is on Instagram a lot and has a ton of followers, it just seems like that you're embracing it and you're doing as good of a job as you can. Do you have a goal of where you want to be? Like, do you want to be an influencer
Oh, gosh.
for a full-time job, or do you want to have a daily gig? Because creating content, it's hard.
I think
It's
so.
not
Oh,
easy.
it is.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, I work full time. I have a full time job as an esthetician, which I love. My end goal, I wouldn't say is to be like an influencer. I like blogging and writing more. I love to write. I don't do enough of it because I get nervous putting my stuff out there. But if anything, it's more so just to like share my writing more.
Yeah.
Not that being an influencer is bad,
Yeah.
but
But it is a lot of work.
Yeah, I couldn't do it for a full-time job. I'll
Yeah.
say that. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
It's definitely difficult. And we don't even have a huge following, and
Mm-mm.
we're pressured to put out tons of stuff. But
Like, they're trying to get us to have a following, and I
I
think that's the
know,
problem.
It's so hard. Well, if people want to follow you on Instagram, what is it?
It's the artificial blonde.
Which you're not blonde, but
So
yeah.
look
Not
at Kat,
blonde,
who's
but-
not Blondie.
Yes, I know. I trademarked it. I gotta stick with it.
It's all right.
Stick
Nah,
with
just at this point, just keep leaning into it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there you
Someday
go.
I'll go back.
You have darker hair with blonde highlights.
There you
Well,
go. There's
exactly. I
blonde.
told my hairstylist, I'm like, we gotta leave some blonde, or they're really gonna lose it on me.
Well, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. I
Cool.
really appreciate
Hey,
it.
no problem. All right. Thank you to Mattress Galaxy. And want to thank them for being a part of Stacey and Hutch Say Too Much. Mattress Galaxy, by the way, you have a really nice, you need to get one of these because you have an awesome, what's it called? It's, oh, sorry, I put you.
Oh,
kicked
I have
you
a
out.
Tempur-Pedic. Oh, hi, here I am.
There you are.
I've got a Tempur-Pedic, and mine has the adjustable base, which I love. And you know
That's
what's
what it is, yeah.
nice? I was looking for. Actually, I lost something under the bed, and I was like, oh, I got to go find a flashlight. And then I remembered, no, I don't, because the one I bought. The new one I just bought
Yeah.
has a little light underneath it, which is sort of nice because in the middle of the night, if you want to get up and go to the little girl's room or just want to find something under there, you just press this little button on your remote and it has a very nice glowy light. I was like, oh, there's my pen or whatever it was. I forgot what I was looking for. And there it was. And I also found a shirt that I was missing a while back. I was like,
You found
"Ah."
Biddy
I found Biddy.
You
The cat Biddy was under there one time.
and a cat you used to have.
Uh-huh.
But
So it's really, you can get, there's so many different bells and whistles. If you just want something basic, you can
Yeah.
just get something basic. But I wanted the Mac Daddy. So I got the light, I got vibration, I got, zero gravity, which lifts you up just the right area so that you can just feel like you're floating. It's amazing.
here's what I love, by the way, about Mattress Galaxy is that you can rest easier knowing that your new sleep system,
Mhm.
you don't have to keep it. Inside 90 days, you can exchange it with no additional fees.
Yeah, if it's not
to
perfect,
something that works.
if it's not right for you, they will make sure that you're happy.
Right.
And you don't, they're not going to say, okay, well, we changed it, so now you owe us money.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. All right. So make sure you check out Mattress Galaxy. You can visit one of their locations in Hudson, Hastings, New Richmond, a new location in Woodbury. Mattress Galaxy, sleep better now. It is time for Pass or Play. Yeah.
It's time to pass or play. We're gonna pass or play.
We're gonna play the game.
pass.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our host, Ross Brendel.
Oh, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here for another edition of Pass or Play. Season 2, let me remind you of the all-time stats. 2022 goes to Stacey by a final score of 16-13. 2023, Stacey takes the early lead. It is 1-0. Pass or play, it's a game in which you pass or play. Your topics today. First, a condensed question. That's a lot of kibble.
Kibble.
Working 9 to 5. A super connection.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Those are your 5 topics for today.
I thought that was 4.
Did Stacey the other? What's the first?
First,
Yeah.
Oh,
a
first.
condensed question.
Okay.
That's a lot of kibble.
Yeah.
Working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
A super connection.
That's only 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, first.
First is
was
And
was one of
a
them.
condensed question are 2 different ones.
Okay, hold
My
on.
apologies.
We got to do the outro. Hold on.
How do you not feel good after hearing that music?
All
It's
right.
really good.
Stacey won last time.
What?
She won. Yes.
Yep,
Last.
I guess she
so
did. She's
I'm
up
going
1-0.
first then.
Yep.
I'm taking first.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm gonna take first.
First,
Yes.
this was the first state in the 50 nifty United States of America. Is it A, Rhode Island? Is it B, Vermont? Is it C, Delaware? Or is it D, the Virgin Islands?
You threw Virgin Islands in there, and that confuses me because what Carissa usually does for Smarter Than Stacey will throw something in there. It seems obvious. but then she'll take it away from you very quickly.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm gonna say Delaware. I mean, it's closest to DC, but the first capital though was in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. I'm just gonna say Delaware. Final answer.
Hey, look, I'm in Delaware. And hey, look, Hutch is right.
Yeah.
December 7th of 1787, Delaware became the first state to ratify the Constitution,
There you go.
making them first. Stacy.
Yeah.
A condensed question.
Let's do that.
Okay,
I have a
easy
feeling
enough.
there might be soup involved. I love
Wow.
soup.
Wow.
Is it?
It is.
Oh my God, I love
Oh,
soup.
she loves soup.
Fill in the blank. Condensed soup was invented by Dr. John T. Dorrance, a chemist with the Campbell Soup Company, in the year of A, 1887, B, 1799, C, 1904, or D, 6000 BC.
Oh, I love dates.
Or Virgin Islands.
Well, let's see.
You have 1897,
Mm-hmm.
1799, or 1904. And if you really are stumped and just want to be funny, 6000 BC.
I will say. Okay, I don't think it's 1799. I think I want to say 1887, but that just seems awfully early. But you know what? I know it feels like 1904 is too late. I'll just go with my gut and say 1887.
Well, this game's heating up. We're tied at 1.
Yeah.
Good work.
Well, I'm just gonna
Yay.
go down the row here. I'm gonna do kibble.
Okay.
That's a lot of kibble.
All right.
Per thezebra.com, in the year of 2021, how much money did Americans spend on their pets? Listen carefully here. A, 75.5 million. B, 110 million. C, 75.5 billion. Or D, 110 billion.
Okay.
Wow.
So here's what we do know. Let's do some facts here. 2020, pandemic had started in March.
Yeah.
People were staying home and getting animals.
Mm-hmm.
And this was done in 2021, correct?
Correct. I like the logic you're putting into this already.
What was the
Hutch.
second highest number?
75.5 billion.
I'm going to do that.
You're going to go with the second highest number of 75.5 billion.
Yes.
Hutch, you should have went with the highest
Oh.
number.
That was good thinking, though. That's what I would have
Yeah,
thought.
great thinking.
Yes.
$110 billion. And I remember thinking, well, that when I formulated this question, I'm like, well, that doesn't even seem possible. But then I think about I came from a big box retailer that routinely did a couple $1 billion a year in business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of in one fraction of things.
Yeah.
Most people in some way, shape, or form have pets.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
You buy a lot of cat wigs.
There you go. Stacy takes the lead 2-1. It's our first wrong answer. So Stacy,
I don't want to talk about it.
you can put it away now.
She's so rude.
She's
She's winning. She's rude. All right.
Look at her smile too.
I
It's like
know.
an evil smile
I
and laugh
know.
in the corner.
I know.
So it's super 9 to 5 and what?
You have working 9 to 5 and a super connection.
Oh boy, I have a feeling super connection has something to do with either computers or people who are connected through some sort of famous situation. I'll do 9 to 5.
Working 9 to 5. Oh, what a way to make
Make a
a
living.
living. The Bureau of Labor Statistics tells us that as of January of 2022,
Mhm.
the average length an employee will stay with their employer is how long? Is it A, 4.1 years, B, 2.7 years, C, 6 years, or D, you'll never work a day in your life if you like what you do for a living?
Boo. Okay. In 2022, there's a lot of turnover. I'm going to say 2.7.
Well, She took the suspense out of it by going to the answer right
Yes,
away.
I know.
Guess what we're doing here, Hutch?
What?
We're going to a question 5. She's
Wow.
incorrect.
Oh my God.
What was it?
4.1 years is how long, as of 2022, we will stay with our employers.
Huh.
Okay.
And I think that makes sense, right? Because for everybody that works 6 months, there's somebody
What
who
about if
works
you've been at the
11
same
years.
place 20 years? What does that make you?
Crazy.
Okay.
It makes, you know what,
Or lazy.
I'll reserve judgment.
How long have you been here, Ross?
This time around,
No,
about a year and a half.
No,
In
you can
total-
include. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
In total, I think over 5 years now
Okay.
at this point.
All right.
Yeah, in total.
Well, then you're a little bit overdue.
All right.
I'm catching up.
Hmm.
Last question.
Last question. I think I'm asking it to you, Hutch.
Okay.
A super connection, and I feel bad because I think you might know this one. So if that is the case, I'm sorry, Stacey.
Well, these things happen.
Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs is not the only great athlete in his family. Patrick's father actually
Yep,
played
for the-
professional sports in Minnesota
for the
in the
Twins.
mid-90s.
Yep. That's the answer.
That's the answer.
Mhm.
Give yourself the ding. Do you want to know the teams you were going to get to choose from?
Vikings, Wild, Timberwolves.
Vikings, Twins, and Minnesota Fighting Pike, who were an arena football team that lasted
Oh,
one
were they?
season in the mid-90s.
Oh, yeah. No, I know it was the Twins for
Stacey,
sure.
I'm sorry, but I guess Hutch ties this up at 1.
We are at a
that's
dead
exciting.
heat.
Dead heat. Dead
Hey,
heat.
guess what it's time for?
Oh, fun fact, very quickly.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Ross. Come on,
I have
was
seen-
building up suspense, but okay.
I have seen Patrick Mahomes in a diaper at the Twins Pro Shop.
Okay, I don't want to know about your dating
Well,
life.
here we go.
What's the latest grub?
Soup's on, fat boy.
You'll find out what's an oral gasm
Your chicken is delectable.
and what's dorm food.
That's disgusting.
Because it's time to test your taste buds as we now present Stacey and Hutch's Snack Chat.
Let's do it.
Yay!
Snack chat. All right. We're going to start with the sweet and tangy first, the
Okay.
chips. As we mentioned before, we have the new flavor of Doritos, which I think this is a brilliant
There's-
idea.
There's no way these can be bad.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
there's no way.
But we thought we'd like things before, and then we tasted
Correct.
Some people
Correct.
really hate barbecue. I know a lot of people do.
I love it.
think barbecue is delicious.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. You got to look at these. They are loaded with flavor.
Well, then,
oh.
hey, show them off.
I'm going to be making a grocery store run tonight.
Oh my God.
The odds I picked these up, I didn't even know these existed.
Smells like a
until this
backyard
pod
barbecue.
started. Oh,
Oh my God.
you know what would go great with these?
Hmm.
Hot dog soup.
Oh,
You are correct, sir. All
oh
right, here we
yeah.
go.
These are coated, beautifully coated.
Oh my God.
Look at that. It's exciting when they have like a lot of
Oh, yeah.
stuff on
Yeah.
them.
These
Yep.
are.
These might almost beat Cool Ranch.
What took these so long?
I know, right?
Mm.
Amazing.
You know, you guys typically try and give me the food and I turn it down.
You'll take that.
Not the, I'm taking these.
Okay, you can
I'm
take those.
taking these.
You take those. Because I have a feeling Stacey's going to take the next thing too. What do you think, Stace? You like them? Or is it too barbecuey for you?
I don't know if I like the corn and the barbecue together.
Really?
I mean, I'm not going to say out of here
I see what you're saying, but you'd rather have a nacho cheese or a Cool Ranch Dorito.
and a Lay's potato chip.
Okay. I'm telling you.
I don't hate it, but
Okay, I really like the initial flavor. Cool Ranch is still better, but this is super
That's
good.
good.
It's still super good.
it's
I
a
can-
fun change. Oh, look at how much
It'd be a good
dust is on that.
It'd be a
one.
good dip one. Like, what dip would you pair with this?
Could you dip
Like
that?
sour cream?
Yeah, could you dip that in like a sour cream or even
All
like a
that
French
dust.
onion, maybe?
I don't know about French
Look.
onion. Maybe a look at
Look at all
Stacey's-
that
okay.
dust.
You know what the kids would do? The
What?
kids would dip it in ranch.
Mm-hmm.
They dip
Ross,
everything in
You
ranch.
can try this. I know Stacy can too as well. I don't know if we have cups.
I think I saw this
Oh,
was sugar
There's
free.
cups in there. This is
Zero
zero,
sugar?
sugar.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it for you. Zero sugar.
You just learned now.
The white cups right there. Yeah. Here, why don't you just pour one for you and Stacy? I'm not going to do it. But here, take it over this way before we get yelled at.
Yeah.
This is so. By the way, you can show it in the camera too. It is the new Starry by Pepsi Cola, and it replaced what Sierra Mist, right, Stace?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it replaced Sierra Mist.
And
So
it's 0, so there's no sugar.
yep, they do have a sugar version and a zero sugar version. But I tried this, and I love citrus. I think this is more citrusy than Sierra Mist for sure.
But it goes flat rather quickly. That's one thing I don't like about it. So
Interesting
I
to see what Ross says about it.
I got really small cans of it,
Oh,
which I like because then it doesn't go flat before
Right.
you're done.
Is it possible this just is Sierra Mist with a new name?
No.
you think? No,
I
I
think-
think it's
I-
more citrusy. You don't think so?
Maybe it's the barbecue flavor still in my mouth. It tastes very similar to Sierra Mist.
I'm not a fan of the name.
Also, I
I
used
know. I
to
don't like the logo either.
I used to drink Sierra Mist.
Mhm.
I was today years old when I realized Sierra Mist no longer exists.
But it was only the past couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
It's like maybe even the past month.
So they literally like phased it out. For
yes.
This.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the
Okay.
new. So you think it tastes the same?
Thank goodness for Snack Chat. Yeah, I honestly feel like they just put a new label on it.
Okay. I thought it was more citrusy, but
I think it's very citrusy.
it's definitely more citrusy than Sprite.
It's yes.
100% more citrusy than
It's
Sprite.
sweet and
I
yummy.
do like it though.
You do?
It's
I would
refreshing.
Yeah.
I would totally buy this,
Mm-hmm.
especially like that. If you're stopping into a petrol station, you want something to drink, I
A
would totally
petrol
grab that.
station.
Oh,
I
Ross
need
would
to
say,
get petrol.
Yeah.
Petrol.
Can someone fill up my car for me?
I just
I do miss that. By the way.
I so admire the way the British say some things like military.
Now I did buy this for Stacy. She's going to be taking this one home. I know for a fact.
love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, so I can't wait to try
Well,
this.
there's one woman that'll beat you every time to Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I will fight you.
Bugles have come out with brand new Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bugles.
When did the Cinnamon Toast Crunch explosion take? I've always
In the
loved
last
Cinnamon
2
Toast
years.
Crunch.
Yeah, since
the-
pandemic.
The last few years, it's everything. Have you tried the Cinnamon Toast Crunch oatmeal?
No, but I bought the frosting. It was gross.
Okay.
But you also have the, don't you have the sprinkle too, or no? Because you can put that in your oatmeal. Oh my God, the smell of this. Oh, it's so good. And I love Bugles. I love any kind of Bugles. I love
Bugles
the
are
original,
great.
the cheese, the caramel. I love everything about it.
How do you feel about corn nuts?
I got
Bugles
the-
and corn nuts are great snacks.
I got the caramel ones where there's caramel inside the thingy. That was pretty good.
Oh,
I'd rather have the cereal.
Me too.
If you're gonna give me
There's not enough.
oh,
It just tastes like a bugle with a hint of cinnamon. Like
Yeah.
somebody accidentally spilled it.
I am not a fan. It's one of those things we thought we'd love. I am
I don't
not a
know if
fan.
I love it, but I don't
Oh,
dislike
I hate
that.
it.
I'd
But I'm
rather have
not.
a plain bugle.
This is a great snack chat. This is fantastic.
This was a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Well, I don't know, Stace.
I don't like it.
I'm not loving them. I'm very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we love Cinnamon Toast Crunch so much, the cereal, that I think it's gonna be hard to.
No,
You know, they
mess
have
with it.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch minis cereal.
Did
They're
you?
little round balls,
Oh,
and they're minis now. So
How do you guys eat your Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Because I don't put milk in cereal. Every cereal I eat is dry.
well, I
and
prefer
that's-
milk, of course, but I can sit and eat.
oh
Yeah.
handfuls.
To me,
Depends
that's
on it.
part of the reason what makes Cinnamon Toast Crunch so great.
Yeah.
It's literally
They do
it's,
have.
it's candy. You're eating candy.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
It's so good.
Next week, though,
mm-hmm.
I have a surprise for you guys for Snack Chat.
Oh, really?
Goldfish has come out with the new Frank's Red Hot Goldfish.
Okay.
And I ordered something that you can only get online. You know how when you go to KFC or Cub and you get fried chicken and you really like the skin?
Yes. You just found the skin.
I don't know if Stacy would eat this. It is fried chicken skin chips.
Okay, that is disgusting.
I'm in
have-
on this.
They have Nashville hot, salt and vinegar, and original flavor. And so Stacy might not be in on that, but
not in.
I'm in on this. Look, if I can eat a cricket as part of this segment, I can eat that.
well, no, this is like one of those weird things I found. I found something online many years ago, and I think then you found them. Muddy cows, they're the bottom ends of the ice cream cones.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
Of
can
the-
just get those?
and it
Yeah.
has chocolate in the like
Just-
it's like a
just the good
drumstick.
part, the little chocolate
yeah.
bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get those. They're called muddies or something
Something
like that.
Yeah. There's
But,
a couple of different names for them.
So yeah, next week you're going to want to tune in for the chicken skin chips.
That's so nasty.
That is appointment viewing on the YouTube machine
it
right there.
Certainly is. All right.
So nasty.
Want to thank Mattress Galaxy for hooking us up with Stacy and Hutch Say Too Much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.